Hello students, I am going to explain you chapter 1 of economics, that is the story of village Palampur. Since you are in class 9th, for the first time you are getting introduced to a new you can say study, which is economics. So before starting the chapter, I want to give you a brief introduction of what is economics. Economics, in a very simple way, we can describe this as a social science which deals with the proper utilization of scarce resources. तुम्हारे हाथ में जो resources है वो limited है, उसको तुम कैसे इस्तेमाल में लेते हो so that you are getting the benefit or you are getting the most satisfaction out of it, that is dealing with economics. Okay. Now with that we are going to start the chapter. We are going to discuss various activities in Palampur, different kinds of organizations of production one by one. Palampur, it is a hypothetical village, or you can say it is an imaginary village where it is assumed that more or less all the facilities are available. It is having a good electricity connection, it is having good irrigational facilities, it is having its 2 primary school, 1 high school, it is having 1 primary healthcare center, 1 private dispensary, it is having its major transportation facilities like the villagers are using bogies. Bogies means wooden cart driven by buffalo, bogies, tractors, then motorbikes, jeeps, etc. etc. It is well connected with roads, pakka roads I should say. With it is well connected with roads with nearby villages. One village, it is a big village whose name is Raiganj. It is 3 kilometers away from Palampur. Another village is and it's not village, it is a town. The nearby town is Shahpur. So it is having more or less all the facilities. Total 450 families live in Palampur. Out of those 450 families, 80 families belong to upper caste, and they are you can say they are rich families who are able to reside in pakka houses made up of bricks and cement, and 1/3 of the village family members, they are scheduled caste or they are Dalit. They stay in one corner of the village. Their houses are kacha houses which are made up of straw, mud and straw. So it is a village, imaginary village, which is having more or less all the facilities, and one by one we are going to discuss in detail which facilities the villagers are availing. But before that, I have to explain you the organization of production. See here, one flow chart is there which is indicating the organization of production. Production, first of all, let me discuss what is production. Production means what? To produce something, to make something. But in economics, production is that activity which deals with generation of income. Let me give an example. Suppose in my kitchen garden, I have produced, suppose, some crops or vegetables, and if I use those crops and vegetables for my self-consumption, suppose I am cooking those vegetables in my kitchen, that means I am going to eat them, then it will not be termed as production. It will only be termed as production if only I sell those crops and vegetables in the market. That means in return of that productive activity, I am going to get some income. Then it will be termed as economic activity or it will be termed as production. Now we are going to discuss what are the different factors of production. Production करने के लिए कौन-कौन सी factor की जरूरत है. The first factor of production which is required, that is land, second one is labor, third one is capital, and fourth one is organization or human capital or entrepreneurial skill. So one by one we are going to discuss the factors of production. Obviously the first factor of production, that is land. Land is the, you can say, major factor of production provided by nature. So obviously land area is fixed. It cannot be increased. Whatever is given by nature, we have to be content with that. Now, second factor of production. Second factor of production, that is labor. Labor is what? Labor is those persons who work for you. Be it industry, be it agriculture, there must be labor who are working. That means जो खेती में काम कर रहे हैं वो लेबर है, फार्म लेबरर. जो इंडस्ट्री में, कारखाने में काम कर रहे हैं वो इंडस्ट्रियल लेबर है. लेबर मतलब वो इंसान जो काम कर रहा है. नेक्स्ट इज कैपिटल. कैपिटल मीन्स see here one here also one division of flowchart is there. Fixed capital and working capital. Capital, or it can be said as physical capital. Physical capital is divided into fixed capital and working capital. Now let me explain you what is fixed capital and what is working capital. Fixed capital is that capital which can be used again and again. The machines, tools which can be used again and again. Suppose this pen, this whiteboard, I can use these again and again. So it is coming under fixed capital. Next, working capital. Working capital is that capital which cannot be used again and again, which once it is used, it is finished. एक बार यूज करने से खत्म हो जाता है. Example of working capital is what? Raw materials, money. Raw materials means जो कच्चा माल चाहिए होता है, जैसे बीज चाहिए होता है, सीड, फिर पेस्टिसाइड्स चाहिए होता है, देन फर्टिलाइजर्स चाहिए होता है खेती के लिए. दे आर ट्रीटेड एज वर्किंग कैपिटल बिकॉज वंस दे आर यूज्ड इट इज फिनिश्ड, इट कैन नॉट बी रीयूज्ड अगेन. सो वर्किंग कैपिटल के अंदर मनी एंड रॉ मटेरियल्स आते हैं. And the last sector of production is organization or human capital or entrepreneurial skill. Organization, last sector of production. That means there should be an organizer who has to look after the whole productive activity. लेबर को कैसे काम में लाना है, कैपिटल को कैसे इस्तेमाल करना है, लैंड को कैसे सही तरीके से इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा, कैसे खेती किया जाएगा, कैसे उसके ऊपर फैक्ट्री बनाया जाएगा, ये कैसे प्रोडक्टिव एक्टिविटी को सिंक्रोनाइज करना है, कोऑर्डिनेट करना है. देयर शुड बी वन सुपरवाइजिंग ऑथोरिटी. That is coming under the organization, or that is why it is called human capital. That means here human intervention is needed. Land, labor, capital, these three are coordinated with the help of this human capital or entrepreneur. Entrepreneur मतलब जो बिजनेस का मालिक होता है या प्रोडक्टिव एक्टिविटी का मालिक होता है. तो इट इज कॉल्ड एज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और ह्यूमन कैपिटल और एंटरप्रेन्योरियल स्किल. नाउ we are going to discuss one by one these factors of production. First I am going to discuss land. Let us come to the next point. When you are talking about land, we are talking about kheti, we are talking about farming in land. So farming in Palampur, there are all the lands in Palampur are cultivated. No land is left idle. And let me tell you here, the land area in Palampur is fixed. More or less more than 75% of the population in Palampur, they are dependent on farming. And since 1960, no increase in land area or no expansion in land area was there. Land area में कोई increase नहीं हुआ. In 1960, some of the barren lands they were also added into cultivation. जो बंजर जमीनें होता है उनको भी cultivation में लिया गया. But after that, no land area was increased. Okay, now let us discuss different crops which are grown in Palampur. In rainy season or kharif, jowar and bajra they are grown, and these two crops they are used as cattle feed. Next, in October and December, potato is grown. In winter season or rabi, wheat is grown, and once every year Sugarcane is also grown in Palampur. So you can see different crops are grown on the same piece of land. When in a particular year more than one crop is grown on a single piece of land, it is known as multiple cropping. See here, I have written here multiple cropping. मतलब एक से ज़्यादा crop का production हो रहा है. Next we are coming into Green Revolution. Since late 1960s, it actually started from 1966. So since late 1960s, modernized farming or modern method of farming was introduced in some states. Which are those states? Punjab, Haryana, and some portion of western UP. There, farmers adopted this modern method of farming, which included use of HYV seeds. HYV seeds, the full form is high yielding variety seeds, then chemical fertilizers and pesticides, and then high level of irrigation. Achha, before the introduction of this green revolution or modern farming method, the farmers used to adopt this multiple cropping method, or the farmers used to adopt the old method of farming where HYV seeds were not used. Their traditional seeds were used. जैसे बीज को सुखा के फिर उसको यूज किया जाता था, वो मेथड चलती थी, and where high level of irrigation was not needed. But whenever we are talking about this modern technology in farming or green revolution, then HYV seeds are needed. Use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides are needed. Previously, cow dung was used when the farmers adopted old technology. But now, cow dung they are not using. They are using chemical fertilizers and pesticides, and along with that, high level of irrigation is also needed. Now, after green revolution technology was adopted, you can see that here, just look here, before HYV, 1300 kg per hectare productivity was there, production was there in Palampur. But after this introduction of green revolution, after the use of HYV seeds, this production increased to 3200 kg per hectare. Matlab, you can say nearly 3 times production increased after the adoption of this new method of farming or green revolution method. Now hectare, here I have written how to measure 1 hectare. And land area को measure करने के लिए जो unit होती है, that is universal unit is hectare, normal unit is hectare. कभी कभी गांव में बीघा में भी measure किया जाता है, या गुइंथा में उसमें भी measure किया जाता है. But here we are using 1 hectare. Now how to measure 1 hectare? 1 hectare is what? It is that land whose area is equal to square and the side of each square is 100 meter. तो square की area कैसे measure होता है? Side into side. So 100 into 100 meter, that means 10,000 meters square. 1 hectare. Now before HYV 1300 kg per hectare, after HYV 3200 kg per hectare. So obviously after the introduction of green revolution, productivity in land obviously increased to you can say 3 times. But there are certain limitations of green revolution. What are those limitations, or what are those shortcomings of green revolution? Here I have written here, see, number 1, loss of soil fertility. Green revolution, obviously we got the benefit of increased productive activity or increased production. But the main thing here, you can see green revolution includes chemical fertilizers and pesticides. That means green revolution अब जब भी करना चाहते हैं या modern method of farming जब भी करना चाहते हैं, we have to use, or the farmers need to use chemical fertilizers and pesticides which are, you can say, reducing the soil fertility. जमीन soil के साथ mix होके जमीन की जो उपजाऊ होती है वो धीरे धीरे कम होती जा रही है after this invention of green revolution. Second one is what? Reduction of water table. Already we have noticed here that green revolution involves high level of irrigation, or specifically tubewell irrigation was needed. So this reduced considerably the ground water table. जो water table होता है ground water table वो धीरे धीरे बहुत ज्यादा reduction हो रही है, and that is why water scarcity is increasing. Water scarcity is there. So these are the two limitations of green revolution. Here, after that we are going to discuss the distribution of land in Palampur. How many families are there in Palampur? Total families, number of total families is 450. Out of these 450 families, 1/3 are landless. मतलब उनके पास खुद की जमीन नहीं है. They are not having land of their own. So 1/3 of 450, that means 150 families are not having any land of their own. So how many families are having land? Obviously 450 minus 150, that means 300 families are having land of their own. But out of those 300 families also, 240 families have less than 2 hectare. ये जो 300 फैमिली है इसमें 240 फैमिली के पास 2 हेक्टेयर से कम जमीनें हैं, and that means the remaining 60 families have land which are more than 2 hectare. So the families who are having land which are less than 2 hectare, they are called small farmers, and the families who are having land more than 2 hectares, they are called medium and large farmers. Okay, now obviously these small farmers, they are very poor, they are dependent largely for their capital or for their money on the medium and the large farmers. Here one example is there in your book, Govind. Govind is you can say a small farmer who is having 2.25 hectare of land, and he is having 3 sons. With this 2.25 hectare of land and he is owning one buffalo also, he can somehow maintains his family expenditure. But after his death, this 2.25 hectare of land was equally divided among his 3 sons. So each son, they got 0.75 hectare of land, which is very less, which is even less than 1 hectare. So after Govind's death, this 2.25 hectare was again fragmented and were distributed among his 3 sons, which resulted into very small production for each of these 3 sons. So they were not able to maintain their family expenditure with this very small plot of land. So they had to look after other alternative opportunities. They had to work in others' land to maintain their family expenditure. So I think whatever I have taught you, it is clear to you. This is for land, and whatever land regarding land, the discussion is there in your book. I have discussed all those. In my next class, I am going to explain you regarding the next factor of production, that is capital. The next factor of production, that is labor, and then capital, and then organization. So today we have finished this portion, that means land. I think it is clear to you whatever I have taught you. Thank you. Have a very nice day.